You're about to hear the story of my most memorable trade, a trade that made me the humbled trader. Whew, don't tell my mom. Hello, my name is Shay, aka Humbled Trader. I'm a trader and a YouTuber who talks about day trading. Let me introduce myself to my new viewers. I've been day trading for more than 8 years now. I used to work a typical 9 to 7 job for many years, got fed up with it, and then slowly prepared myself to quit my job to day trade full time. You probably heard about my immigrant stories. Seeing my parents struggle with money, trying to adapt my life in North America, and dealing with being bullied in school definitely built up a tough skin for me and showed me that I need to work hard to get a solid foundation under my feet. But I never actually shared how I became the humbled trader. Why did I name myself and my YouTube channel like this? Well, today I'll spill the beans and share my stories with you, as long as you remember to smash the like button. Story time with Shay. When I was a beginner trader, I was losing for almost 2 years before I started seeing any sort of consistent green P&L. My P&L curve in my first 2 years looked like the crypto chart, starting from 2022. Sorry, bad joke, I know. I would make $50 one day, and the next day I'll lose $100. The third day I would be so annoyed that I would revenge trade and lose another $60 or even more. I also joined many alert chat rooms. If one didn't work, I would hop on to the next. Following others never worked. So yeah, my trading journey was very much like most beginner traders. I don't know if it's just me, but day trading was more than just making money. It was like a computer game. It was like trying to beat a gym leader at a high-level Pokemon match. I knew I was terrible, I knew I was not likely to win, but I also knew that if I keep on trying and keep training my Pikachu, I can slowly get better and eventually beating the gym leader. For most beginner traders, seeing old red P&Ls after 6 months or even 1 year, they would have quit. However, while I did take many breaks, I always found myself wanting to come back to the market. I was still very drawn to the challenge and all the market movements. Reflecting on my journey, I figured that I did 3 things correctly in my beginner years that eventually made me a better trader. The first thing I did was that I kept my position sizing very small, at 20 to 50 shares, depending on the stock price. I was risking very little. Instead of swinging for fences and risking $500 or $1,000, I was risking $20 or $50 per trade. The second best thing I did is that I kept my 9 to 7 job while I started day trading, even though I absolutely hated my job. But because of that employment income, I never needed to make trading profits in order to live. In fact, I kept on refunding my small account with my 9 to 7 paycheck. The third thing, which is also what matters most, was that I didn't give up. My family and friends didn't understand how trading works, and they thought I was insane. Insanity is repeating the same failure over and over again. And to eventually become a profitable day trader, yeah, you kind of have to be very insane at first. I mean, when Elon Musk first started Tesla, he was called crazy and insane many times. Now, 20 years later, he's a genius. He's a crazy genius. So with persistence and hard work, I finally started seeing some progress in year 2. I was still losing, but I was losing less and less. And most importantly, my losses were a lot smaller than my profits. Then I finally flipped my P&L. Yes, my friends, you know I'm about to mention risk management. Risk management, lack of risk management, including risk management. Risk management. Risk management. Risk management is the second most frequent thing that I mention on the channel, almost as frequent as Lamborghinis. I only turned my trading around after implementing some strict risk management. And no, it didn't change my trading results overnight. But just like going to the gym and working out, the results are noticeable only after a long period of time. Finally, near the end of year 2, I went from red to green after losing around $17,000. At this point, you must be thinking,
okay, Shay, so you lost $17,000 and became profitable trader after that. Is that why you were humbled?
Oh no, I wish that was all the money I lost. Now I'm just getting to the juicy parts here. 9 months after going red to green, I found consistency in trading, and I was also making on average 2 times more than my 9 to 7 job. I finally quit my dreadful job to day trade full-time. Everything seems great. I finally accomplished my dream that I set out to do almost 3 years ago. Everything after going full-time should be sunshines and rainbows and leading us straight to Lamborghini land, right? Well, it seems like I was on the way there until Snapchat stock showed up. You're about to hear the story of my most memorable trade, a trade that made me the humbled trader. The Snapchat IPO was probably the hottest topic in the beginning of 2017. Remember, this is before there was such a thing called crypto, meme stocks, or SPACs for people to YOLO their money into. All the millennials and anyone watching the stock market was following the Snap IPO. I was waiting for 2 days after the IPO run up and shorted the stock down after the huge rally. This is a classic momentum trade after the news event is done. As you can see on this chart, after IPO at $24 and selling off from the highs at $29, Snapchat stock had continued a downtrend trajectory to a low of $11 and $12. However, your girl here decided to start putting on a swing short position here after this huge multi-month sell-off. My thesis at the time was that the company had an extremely inflated market cap despite the underlying business not looking so great. They were burning cash faster than Jerome Powell could have printed them, and was further convinced that the stock is going back to single digits after some extremely terrible earnings in August and November of 2017. So I entered my swing short position around the 1550s average in late November, and I was ready to kick back, collect my profits with a price target of $8 to $9. And at first, my trade worked out according to plan. You can see on the charts here, the stock tanked from 15 to 14s. Despite the small bounce, it tanked after earnings down to $12. But instead of taking some partial profits, I added even more at around $13 because I really believed that the stock should be trading in single digits. This mistake put me at a greater risk than I originally intended. Well, it turned out I was right on my thesis and price target, but I was just 1 whole year too early. Almost right after I added more positions short, the stock bounced huge. It went right back to $15 and traded around $16. This is the area where I really should have just stopped out, because now my average is in the mid $14. Not only did I not cut the loss, I continued to add even more short positions and covering some for a loss in order to average up. At the same time, I had to move some of my funds from my day trading to swing trading account in order to maintain my margin. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the worst combo meal you could have ordered. Bag holding plus adding on to a losing position. For months, I couldn't sleep at night, I was extremely stressed, and there were just weeks where I just stared at the Snapchat stock chart the entire day. I couldn't concentrate on my day trade. I didn't want to go out, I didn't want to talk to anyone else. I just stayed at home glued to my computer, praying that Snap would tank. I remember in February 2018, the market was tanking hard and selling off. It was around the break-even point with my existing Snapchat position at around 1370s. But keep in mind, I covered some for a loss much early on, around 15 and 14s. In my mind, I thought, hey, the market is selling off, that should help with my short position. I knew that was an excuse. I should have covered my remaining position for basically break even. But I was so stubborn and I didn't want to admit that I was wrong. On the evening of February 5th, Snapchat reported earnings, and they blew it out of the park. The revenue was up as well as the user growth. The stock absolutely rallied after hours. That was the moment I knew, oh my god, I blew it. So the next morning, I was margin called and forced to cover at $19. A margin call is when a broker closes down your positions for you because of the unrealized loss is breaching margin maintenance of 25%. I was so exhausted from bag holding the last 4 months. I remember just closing down that trade, liquidated all my other positions at the same time, and shut down everything and went back to bed, as if that could allow myself to escape reality. I remember logging back into my account 1 whole week later. Adding in all the previous transactions I had lost a total of $47,000 on the swing short position on Snapchat. Whew, don't tell my mom. $47,000 was more than half of my trading account balance at the time. My pre-planned risk on this swing trade was only $10,000. I was extremely disappointed in myself for going down this downward spiral of breaking rule after rule for so many months and ignoring all the principles I had followed strictly to allow myself to go red to green and became consistently profitable. I got too complacent and thought finally now as a full-time day trader making 6 figures and still growing, I was better than the market. But clearly, I let my pride get the best of me and I paid some hefty price for this huge mistake. Even though this loss isn't the biggest loss of my trading career, I think it's still by far the most memorable because of the amount of time I spent bag holding the stock and how much toll that took on my emotional health and ultimately affected my life and my relationships in real life. Maybe that's why I rarely swing short anymore nowadays. The pain of getting short squeezed for months left me traumatized. I was extremely humbled after that experience, and I want to make sure I share my painful story and all the lessons I learned with other traders, hence the name Humbled Trader. This name will serve as a reminder for myself that if you forego risk management and your discipline, the market will catch up with you, and the punishment will not be fun. My trading journey continued after the Snapchat loss. Later that year, I met some traders who were seeking guidance on Reddit. Together with Oren, who was my trading mentor at the time, we created a private and free group for traders. I also slowly recovered my confidence, enough to help more and more beginners based on my experience. At the time, Oren had a nickname called the Oracle, while I was wondering what my nickname should be. It was these trading group members who joined me since day one who inspired me to pick up the name Humbled Trader and eventually giving birth to my very own Humbled Trader community. Today, the Humbled Trader community is supported by over 7 trading coaches and over 900 members. Of course, risk management stays as the #1 rule in our community. Hopefully my story of being really humbled by the market can remind you and all the traders watching this to respect risk management, your process, and discipline. Remember, those things will be your key to consistent profitability. Thank you guys so much for watching as always. I'm the Humble Trader, and I'll see you guys next time.